son.
We on there now. We goody, man.
Are we goody?
in
We goody?
there.
Yeah, we
All
sound
We
right.
good,
already
man.
know.
All right. Just checking.
Hey,
How
man,
Fresh
y'all
hey,
brothers
we on
doing?
it,
out
man. You know what I'm
in
saying?
the
Hey,
building.
hey, when that
Yep.
Wednesday joint down, man. Gotta move everything.
Hold
Still
up.
goes.
Yeah. Go, man. F to the
Yeah.
R to the S to the A to the O to the U to the T. That fresh out. Get your gats out, cause I'm about to get it, man.
Stop it.
Popping.
He's getting going
What's goody?
early.
What's
Getting going
going
early.
on?
What's
It's
goody?
man. We
Hey,
got that
what's
Wednesday.
happening?
Hey, first day of the NBA too, man. What's cracking, man?
What? All
What's
right.
goody? What's
You
goody?
know it.
What's goody? What's
Hey
goody?
man, new day, man. We got that J Camp in the building, man. What's going on, J Camp?
Man, I'm good. I'm living. How's everybody else doing, man?
Bebo P, what's going
Fantastic.
down, man? You got that knife talk outfit on, man. I see you.
Hey man, we're just repping for the KRS Kane. What are the rappers stepping to me? They want to get some, but I'm the Bebo P. You know the outcome, yo. So we
What's
got to
up,
rep for
man?
y'all one time. Get the
Watch
mics
out.
up. What's up with y'all brothers?
Watch out! Watch out! Watch out!
Oh, y'all ain't ready for that.
Lights up.
What you think the hoodie's on for? But now, go ahead.
Man, we got LB in the building. Trick's right hand man. You know what I'm saying? The
I
streets.
don't
You know
know
what I'm saying?
nothing about that. Don't know
No, no,
nothing
nothing
about
about
that.
that. The art of deniability.
The guy who
Yeah.
created us, gave the idea to Eminem to make the spaghetti restaurant.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying?
never, never,
Man,
never, never. What's good, guys? Everybody
Everybody
doing good
feeling, man.
tonight?
uh,
Smoothie King,
doing
bro.
well, doing well. How about yourself, brother?
I'm good, man. We just chilling, man. Everybody's good, man. It's like it feels like it's finally fall. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh, it's
but
Yeah,
hey, man,
yeah.
lock your
Yeah.
car doors, man. When you go to the gas station, lock your
Stop.
car doors, man. Like, just be safe out here, man. Everybody don't want to
Yeah,
work. You
okay,
had
yeah.
what 4
Be
million
safe.
people last month quit their job.
yeah, somewhere around about there.
Y'all quit
Crazy,
your
Yeah.
man.
jobs.
They still having record
Nah,
numbers of
player.
people creating businesses though too. So hey, I don't know if that's any correlation, but hopefully y'all getting out of the main workforce to get your hustle money on so that you can control your own finances.
If
That's
not, we
just
gotta
what I'm
start a
hoping.
fresh out
I don't
lawn
know.
care.
Yeah, ID gonna be cutting y'all grass, man. Not for the
Hey,
discount
man,
though. The price of the lawn care
with
going
the
up,
crispy lineup, doc. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
man.
Hey man, before we go
The
in, man,
Iron
like
Gonzalez.
what was y'all thought of, what was y'all thoughts on the Big Daddy Kane the verses? I don't know if y'all saw it,
Oh
but just
yeah.
even if you didn't see it, what was your thoughts on the whole
Oh man.
Big Daddy Kane versus KRS-One? They threw it way back. I didn't know it was gonna go way back, but what was your thoughts on that, man? What was your
I
thoughts?
I can step in on this
Um,
one.
Go ahead,
I
Knife
I
I, I
Talk.
can too.
barely had the
Right after you. Go ahead, Bebo.
no. I barely had the chance to check the whole thing out. And man, you talk about the hip hop performance. I mean, KRS-One hit it out the park. Big Daddy Kane hit it out the park.
Mhm.
They had all the elements of hip hop. The off the top dome freestyling, the break dancing with some of the OGs like Crazy Legs, the DJ scratch battle. A slight one of those with the Blastmasters, DJ Kid Capri and Kane's DJ
Mm-hmm.
Scratch for the night. I mean, they laced it and had some features that I'll say before we move on to the next topic, because the folks that they brought out, man,
Yo,
Hey,
shout out to
shout
the
out
verse,
to Young Nightmare too, man.
shout out to Nightmare,
shout
man.
out to
Shots
Nightmare.
out, man.
And
And
and shout
Jay
out to
Kane, what
you
was your thoughts
too.
on the Big Daddy Kane, man? You know, the KRS-One, man. Tariq Burke's brother.
Yo, I mean,
uh,
phenomenal, man. I mean, Bebo P basically said it all. I mean, it was just you talking about two legends with a stage command that these young cats just don't have. Like,
mhm.
it's something about the element of performing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Jada showed us that, but these guys kind of took it to the next level because they gave you everything. It was like hip hop in its purest form. This is like
Mm.
birthday cake for hip hop. Watching that,
yeah.
it really was, man.
Milk.
I
Yeah,
enjoyed it, man, like thoroughly, man. I mean, it just made you feel good just to be a fan of hip hop, and just
it
it
did.
was really just about why we really dig into it so deep, man. Them dudes just the art, the artistry of hip hop was on full
On display.
display, man,
Yes,
full
sir.
display. The MCing from KRS-One was just dumb. Even I mean, Big Daddy Kane too, but KRS-One, he just went to the fifth dimension and just never
LB,
Well,
did you
returned.
watch the show? And if you didn't, like, what's your thoughts just on their music, just on the album, man? Like, who's your favorite out of the two?
Yeah, as you obviously know, I did not get to watch. I did see lots of little Twitter clips here and there, and the stuff that I was able to consume, it does motivate me to want to go back and check it out for sure. Some of these things, I see the highlights and I'm like, I catch that when I catch it. But this one definitely, is making me want to, go check it out.
you
I
definitely
was
should.
always a Big Daddy Kane fan, uh, and that's
My
no
nigga,
shade
my
to
nigga.
KRS-One, but I just like the whole swag of like Big Daddy Kane whenever he
Absolutely.
decided to go about it. But KRS-One, what I loved about what he was doing was it was just like it didn't matter if it was the middle 90s, early 2000s, late 2000s, anybody at any point, whoever wanted it, he would step up to that.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like he
Facts.
would he would show up and he would show out on anybody in a multitude of decades, whether he had that clout or not. You know what I'm saying? So you can't do anything but respect my man KRS-One.
Nightmare
I
saying
was just a
Kane won
Big
that.
Daddy Kane.
I agree with.
Nightmare saying Kane
You
got
know
that.
what? I think they both did their thing, but I think that Nightmare is on to something with that. I think that Kane had the slight edge. Now to big piggyback off of J Camp's point about KRS going to the third or fifth dimension or whatever. Again, no, hey, shout out to KRS because he did his damn thing. They both
Oh
did.
yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
just I think if I'm not mistaken, I'm not in front of it, and it's been so long. I think KRS had a bigger catalog. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
He
And
has a
more,
he has a bigger catalog, but
yeah.
I
So
I think Big Daddy just has
He got that
more
swag, man.
yeah,
entertainment in his stage presence. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
KRS-One he's gonna go like he's gonna do like what Jada did. You know what I'm saying? When he just grabbed the mic for about 12 minutes.
The one clip that I saw was like Kane like just went off for like 2 minutes just free like going in like doing
Ah,
the
he went
super
in, bro.
fast
yeah,
like that jigger
Yep.
Hawaiian Sophie
He
flow. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
he's the
He went
originator of
off.
that. He's the originator
Oh
of that,
yeah.
man.
Hey,
Oh,
let
you're
me give
so
it.
free flowing, bro.
Let me give about a quick shout out if I can, man, because they did it, and these folks they deserve it, man. So Kane, he brought out nice and smooth.
Oh
He
Hey,
brought
man.
out
Nice and smooth and
yeah,
funky.
funky,
yeah,
all
Hip
those
hop
hip hop
junkie.
junkies,
man.
all we wanna
What I
do.
do is and you
And
boss.
you.
Man. He brought out Master Ace and Craig G on the symphony little part that they did. Roxanne Shante got a big,
Dopeness.
she
Yep.
got a big,
Yep.
Yeah.
cred or
Well
whatever.
deserved.
And
Buckshot,
Well deserved.
and,
buckshot from
and
boot camp.
Bebo, and shout out to also the Master Ace because he's still putting out phenomenal music too.
Yes, he
Oh
He's
yeah.
is.
still putting out phenomenal music.
I agree.
Hey,
Hold on. I got my wrong joints, man. Hold
oh
on.
man, I was about to
Hold
say,
on.
bro.
I got my
I was about to
I was about
say,
to
I
man.
got
say
my
we just
There you go. There you go. There you go.
get my right joints over. Yeah. Now the
but you right
Shantae
though,
joint
Bebo.
was like that was dope. You know what I'm
Eric
saying?
B, Scrap Lover. Hey, KRS
Yeah.
did. He brought out Mad Lion. He brought out who else did he bring? DOS Effects.
Yep.
Das
And
effects.
the
They
dude
want
from Channel Live,
effects.
one of the cats
So
from
why aren't
Channel
these
Live,
dudes going
Hakeem.
on tour, man? That's the thing, bro. Why
They
are
are
they
going
not
on
going
tour.
on tour?
They are.
Good. That's what's
Nice.
up. Man. That's what's up.
KRS announced that at the end, toward the end of the verses, that they're all going on tour.
We want to see the
Hey, that's what's
black
up.
brothers and sisters get their money, man.
Yep.
You know, all day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plus,
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
plus that BDI Thug is one of my favorite rappers too. So we're waiting
Man.
to see him
Okay.
come out on
Yeah.
Man,
stage.
and that just goes to show, man, because KRS came from one crew, Kane came from another, and even one of those brothers. Well, they both acknowledge it, I'm sure, but it was just said that at the end of the day, they can talk their talk or whatever, but it was all love. You know what I'm saying? They could go to the bar, hang out or whatever when it was all said and done.
Yeah.
Even though it's not Lenny real beef, you know what I'm saying? Hip hop is
Nah, it wasn't
competitive.
vicious.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
shout
Definitely
out to
competitive.
It was a sport, man.
shout out to the Juice Crew and Boogie Down. You know what I'm saying?
hey, this is the
For
don't
sure.
get fired section of the show.
Okay.
Obviously, if you haven't saw the Dave Chappelle joint, he went in, which he had some great jokes, man. You know what I'm saying? They were actually funny. But a lot of people didn't like it. I mean, obviously everybody's got their opinion on the jokes, but obviously you see a lot of people from Netflix. They did a walkout today. They did some protest because Netflix won't take it down. Just what's your thoughts on the, not necessarily what he said, but just how people are reacting to it, Jay Kemp?
Man, I always say when you overreact to an element of entertainment, like it's not for you. Because comedy's always been like that. They've always taken it far. You go back,
Facts.
you listen to like
Right.
Eddie Murphy's Raw. I mean, they go in. I mean, and think about how many
Yeah.
times, even on Def Comedy Jam, that
Oh
every
yeah.
comic has went in on basically their community. You know what I'm saying? But it's been all
Yeah.
love though. You know, they
Yeah.
even up there being flamboyant with the walking and flicking the wrist, you know, all that like stuff we consider gays. They was doing it because it was just comedy. And that's basically
Mhm.
what Dave Chappelle was doing, man. People just gotta get out their feelings, man. Like it's entertainment. This dude is a comedian. He's getting paid to make people laugh. You know what I'm saying? People don't take their life that serious. You know what I'm saying? If you trying to cancel that, then you got issues. I'll let somebody else, you know what I'm saying,
What
have the
was your
mic.
thoughts, L?
Oh man. So I was at this show. It was in
Hey man,
Detroit.
give it up for LB, man. You know what
Uh,
I'm
at,
saying?
at the Fillmore. It took, you had to go through and do all the COVID testing prior to getting in and doing all of that stuff. Um, and it's funny. That's the funny story about this is that like I remember being like, ah man, why am I doing all of this? I don't even want to go to this show. You know what I'm saying? But I went to it and it was really funny, and I was glad that I went. So I think there's a couple of things here, and that is that I agree with Jamar. There's some of this that's just like of overreacting, right? They're comedians. They do comedian types of things. Those are the type of things that go on. Now, the main thing that a couple of things that we do have to digest though is that it's almost never about how the 90 or 95% of people take this information. It's always about the how the bottom 5% of people take this information. And I think when you have somebody like Dave Chappelle and you have such a large audience like he does, there is there is a smidgen of responsibility to understand that the bottom 5% of your population might
Mhm.
be might take you a bit too literally and might go and be goofy, ridiculous, and stupid, right? But at the same time, here's what I do know about Dave Chappelle. He didn't build his career on this. He doesn't come out here and do this the day in and day out. He's still going to get a check whether he does this or not. So this is not a thing that is like he actually would probably blow up bigger if he didn't go there. You know what I'm saying? To an extent. So I know that if this is something that he is going there on, and I've seen all of his stand-ups, this is not, if you, and I'm talking about the full span of his career. Some people would argue about the last two stand-up specials, right? Because both of them did have content related to, that particular section, right? The LGBTQIA. But if you look at his full career from the time he did "Killing Me Softly" all the way till now, that's just not who he is. You know what I'm
Yeah, he's
saying? So
been controversial. He's been talking about stuff that
yeah,
you
he's been
don't agree with. Right.
controversial, but it's not like his only claim to fame is talking about the
Nah,
LGBTQIA community, right?
the
His
Dave
claim to
Chappelle
fame
show.
is plenty of other things, and a lot of it is
Yep,
actually very racist type things.
yep.
So
Woogie boogie,
I
nigga.
just don't.
Like like the racial draft. The racial
Yeah,
draft was off the
Yeah,
chain,
so
man.
so for
crescendo.
me, it's like nah, like he gave it a little bit, and I knew when I was laughing in the theater that we was gonna have this moment right here, right now, which is kind of funny.
What do you think, Hilt, man? With the
KRS
walkouts, all
Kane
that
over
stuff. You know what I'm
there.
saying? Go ahead, put the tinfoil on too, man. Go ahead,
Yeah,
do it.
put the kufi on.
Put the
Nah,
coof on, man. Go ahead, do it, man.
Oh man, y'all are wilding, man. And in the words of L, stop.
Right.
Nah, but
It's that satin kufi on.
a lot of cats like that bottom. You're the worst cat, J. Camp. Man, cats like there's people that bottom percentile. They like to do folks like that. I'll say they like to do what I like to call generalize and specific. So, whenever somebody says something that you don't like, and you really don't have a solidified comeback for that, oh, you're toxic. Oh, you're this, or oh, you're that, and that's basically what's going on here. Now, I did just see that. From when the controversy started, the Netflix CEO was standing behind Dave Chappelle. But now, as effective either today or yesterday, like the CEO's kind of, loosening up toward, that other side. So, they definitely have some weight. They're going strong, and they just don't like hearing things that pertain to them that makes them feel uncomfortable. That's all it is, because Dave Chappelle, when you look at the comedy special, he really, he didn't diss them. He didn't.
No, not at all.
He didn't,
not even close.
Right.
It was just
Not even
making
close.
making a silly narrative out of something silly, man.
He even called himself spoiler alert, in case you guys want to hit the pause button. Okay. He called himself a feminist. But when you look at the real definition of it, now I'm not going to go into, basically it's like equality for, everybody. I'm just giving a loose example, but he's like, okay, well, I support that. So, you know what I mean? So I'm just saying that. I mean, that's what the man said. So, and that's just my loose version of it. But I mean, when you hear, but nonetheless, that's, rhetoric like that's not good enough for that percentile. And it's just sad that, not even in the world of comedy, which was a world where you could once say whatever you wanted to during the days of Richard Pryor and the Kings of Comedy and all them cats, man. Red Fox
and they performed in all white crowds. A lot.
Yeah,
and you was doing all that.
You could say the rawest thing.
Yeah, and they was going in.
They the rawest material, and cats would laugh.
Yeah, even my man Martin Lawrence used to get in the same.
And now Martin Lawrence was going in,
yeah. And now probably Dave Chappelle is probably one of the only two or few folks, probably next to Cat Williams and whoever else I can't think of right now, that is real raw, like old school, or not old school, but traditional comedy that's willing to say whatever without being like technically offensive. So it's just sad that there's really no safe space to be bold in speaking what it is that's on your mind and in your heart.
And when you think about Bebo, how many times cats like Richard Pryor or Red Fox was in all white crowds talking about, nigga this, nigga that, and talking about white folks. Right. So white people could have canceled black comedy a long time ago.
Or even my man who used to write for the Chappelle Show. What's his name, man? Oh, Mooney,
Paul Mooney.
Paul Mooney, man, like he gets out there.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
Right.
What else is gonna be crazy is God forbid something if or when something was gonna happen to Dave Chappelle, a lot of them same folks that's criticizing him was gonna boo-hoo and cry. Oh, he was one of the best to do it. They're just blowing smoke right now because again they're hearing stuff that's honest when it comes to race within that community. It ain't comfortable, but it is what it is. And
what's funny?
We've been asking for that conversation for a long time. For people, you got to have uncomfortable conversations, man, in order for people to understand.
Right.
Go ahead, LB. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you good. That's but it's just the whole thing is funny, man. But I think like they said, nobody ever canceled, right? There's always something or something that's always going to be pulling you in. So, and I don't think, Dave Chappelle will have too big of a problem with this. Netflix will probably have a bigger headache than anybody. And, the
As they go to
CEO,
the bank with
he,
it too.
he, he didn't quite walk back his statements on Dave Chappelle, though. He just said that he definitely should have recognized the feelings of the people within his organization a little bit more. So he kind of focused it in a different space, but
Basically,
he
all the
never
cap.
really like he still never came out and was like, no, I don't support Dave Chappelle. He's still been saying I support Dave Chappelle, but he was saying I could have done some things a little bit different when I was handling how people felt about it. So,
And
he
you
hasn't
said the
walked it
right
back
thing.
yet. The support is still there. The support is still there for
Yeah.
my man Chappelle.
Well, that tooth is loose. It's not all the way out. That's all it is. So
It-
it's
It's,
working
it's
Facts.
some out.
loose because he realized Chappelle's a cash cow. He ain't gonna upset that apple cart that
And
way
and
his
it's the
agent.
last hoorah, so let me get this money back. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. You're gonna get it all back, man. You get that money back. For
Hey, if
sure.
you are not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. Hey
Hit
man,
that
we do this every
subscribe button.
Wednesday, man. We got the best
Like it.
commentary.
You know
Fresh
us.
out, man. Bebo P, man, J Camp and LB, man. They hold it down
Yes,
every Wednesday. We
sir.
change it up for the fall because of the football and all that. So we'll look out for us every Wednesday here, man. You know how we get down.
Yes,
We
sir.
gotta
Yes.
talk about LB's favorite MC, uh,
Ah, Meek
Meek
Mill.
Mills. Philly's
Ah,
finest, man.
Philly's finest for
Everybody's
sure.
going in on his album cover. Even Zaddy went in on it. If y'all haven't seen this Zaddy joint,
Yeah,
check out what
let's.
Zaddy said.
Okay, Zaddy.
That's What is this? That is This is on the side of a bus, rolling through your street. Rolling on the side of your street. Is this what you want, black women? Is this what you want, black women? Is this what you want? Look at this bull fucking
Not all, but some, I think. I don't know.
So he put that on the side of a bus.
side of a bus. Is this what you want, black women? Is this what you want? Is this how you want to be respected? Is this how you
Yikes.
So Zaddy went in on him, man. Like, what's y'all's thought on the album cover, and was this in good take? First of all, a black woman drew this. A black woman drew this artwork. So
Okay.
what's y'all
Okay.
thoughts on the whole cover joint?
go in on your favorite artist, L.
Go ahead, L,
And
man.
and your favorite artwork here.
Yeah,
Go
man.
ahead,
Go
L.
ahead. Yeah.
Hey, I did stand up for my man Meek Mill at one point because I
See,
did enjoy
see,
his
we told
last
y'all.
album, and I said, you know what, he might have something going if this next album can be it. I gotta die. I haven't heard any of it yet, so I'm gonna leave that alone. We'll go to whatever this imagery is. Um, I'm glad that a black woman made it, but
Yeah, get your
even
money up. You know what I'm saying?
even if this is a black woman, like, you still have to understand like what this dictates when you're talking about rap and rappers. And then like the side of the bus thing, that was just like that is in poor taste. Like, come on. Whoever made that marketing decision or whatever, like, that's a huge fail. You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
we
Yeah.
know Meek Mill didn't say, "Hey, man, put on a bus in Philly." Like, it wasn't his
Yeah,
idea to put
yeah,
on a bus.
like somebody did that, and I think that's the only thing that like might be a little bit of a problem with this, is because this can't be everywhere, or it shouldn't be everywhere. I got kids, like, I don't want them seeing this mess, you know what I'm saying? So I get that you trying to be provocative and do some things and show like whatever it is that's about your life in this album, but for me, this ain't it, and it definitely ain't it on the side of a bus. And like, bro, give us maybe a version of this art that looks very similar, that just kind of removes a little bit of that or something, like if you're really trying to like get that mass appeal. But and for me and my taste, I just don't personally like it at all, regardless of the actual imagery on there. It ain't that hot to me. But nobody's ever accused me of having stellar taste. So
I'll go and say this from what Bebo P said. More people are talking about the cover than the music, so the music is not that hot.
yeah, it must be, because I knew it was out, but I knew more about this cover before I knew about anything on the music
Bebo P,
side.
what's your take on this great artwork?
That laugh says it all.
We need some milk.
That's what I was waiting on. That's why I was laughing, because I was waiting for a sound effect. give him one more, great host.
Oh,
There you go. All right.
That's what
No,
this
but
one
let me
is.
just
That's
say
right.
this. There wouldn't be backlash if Meek Mill was Meg Thee Stallion.
Wow.
facts.
Oh, I'm sorry. Some of y'all don't like that out there in the audience. You know, you can't have
Hit that
your
one more
cake and eat it
time.
too. I mean,
Hit that one more time, ID.
there you go. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I mean, how can you complain about something that in this era today is being considered empowerment, expressing yourself? Okay, there it is, expressed on the bus. There it is, expressed on an album cover.
Wow.
I'm just saying. What are we doing? And don't get mad at us. We're just the world's most dangerous podcast. And if you get mad at us, how come you're not getting mad at Zaddy that the host just played? Oh, I'm sorry. You must have forgot the black hoodie was on. I'm just saying, like, what's it gonna be? Are we gonna diss this, but then not say anything about a Meg Thee Stallion? And I'm not trying to pick on her, but she's the most
Maybe you
probably one of
are.
the most modern examples.
Yeah, you are.
Let me just ask, what's the most
Fuck you lying.
Hey, real quick, let me ask, hey, what is perhaps the most modern Popeyes commercial? Who's on there and what's she doing?
Talking about that Maggie sauce.
Oh, who was that? Who's that, J Camp?
Talking about that old Meg sauce, that hot girl sauce.
Yeah.
There
You have it, folks. So, what's it going to be? You know, equality or equity? You know,
So-
what's it going to be?
So, Bebo P, are you comparing this to Brittany Renner, who went over to Jackson State and said, "Hide your sons"? Is that a similar thing here? Is that what you're saying?
Basically.
Let me just say, in response to that, hide your album covers. I mean, what are we really talking about here? What's really
Okay.
what? Is it okay if and when I say the Meg Thee Stallion, I'm talking about her and her ilk. You know,
Yes.
it doesn't have to be
Yes.
artist wise, but your modern woman. What is it okay if they do it, but it's not okay if Meek Mill's team allows that to happen? I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm genuinely asking. What do y'all say? Asking for a friend. So I mean, you know, and look, that toxic masculinity stuff that ain't gonna work here at Fresh Out. Don't even come at us with that. You're at the world's most dangerous podcast. Get y'all, as the host said,
This
get
was
y'all
in a
asses
park
outta
the
here.
other. This was in a park, by the way. So if you can't get mad if Meek Mill is doing a cover, and you over here doing this stuff in the park in the daytime, bro.
Oh, that kind of looks like the cover. I'm sorry. Go ahead though.
Well, maybe that was the inspiration.
So, like I said, you can't get mad at like people when they're doing stuff like this, man. So,
yeah, man.
And for the
Jay
record,
Kent, man, what was your thoughts
go
on the
ahead.
whole situation, man?
Well, I mean, the cover's interesting. I mean, I would have to hear the bars in order to kind of understand where he's going with it, because maybe this is being blown completely out of proportion. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe he's trying to prove a point here. So I mean, I got to listen to bars. I mean, I'm not. I got to give this dude at least a listen before I, you know, I feel like I need to. Now, I wouldn't have had to cover on the bus. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like LB said, which old dirty Turner just boo booed on LB. He basically said he didn't care it was on the bus.
Well, I'm saying don't complain about it being on the bus, but then you don't say nothing about it being on mainstream television.
Before he said he said hide your kids. If you don't want to see it on the bus, hide your kids. They don't need to be outside anyway.
I feel you.
Grown
Though.
folks business.
I feel you. If it's on the Popeyes chicken commercial, why can't it be on the side of a bus?
Exactly. I say dude. He made a great point. And like I said, man, I know it's like it sounds like a cop out, but I need to listen to the album because I don't know what his motivation was for this cover. Because I right now I can look at the album title, but it still doesn't make sense to me.
And for the record, I ain't hating on it personally, and I haven't heard the music either. But I'm just addressing like the.
Oh, the music's
controversy
trash,
behind
by
it.
the way. It's
trash?
double fart.
Oh,
It's double
okay.
Double
fart?
fart.
Okay.
That's,
I'm
double
just
that's
saying,
your
like,
official recommendation on it?
No, it's not hot.
Okay.
No, double
All right.
fart.
I
Man.
can't cancel. I can't cancel the cover just yet until I.
This
until
is
I
the thing.
hear it.
If the music was pop, wouldn't nobody even care about the cover.
Well, it would
That might
definitely be a
that
lot
might be true,
less.
too.
But I will
Definitely be a
say
lot less
though,
if he had number one hit out.
if Drake had this cover, this wouldn't be a discussion.
Wow. Okay.
Ooh,
I think
Okay.
Drake would be able to overcome this.
dang.
But since Meek Mill has been served a couple of L's here and there,
Uh-huh.
So you think it's the Barb's
that
over
goes
here
into
hating
it
it?
too.
Then
The bar.
I probably. I mean, because you notice he threw that blonde on there, and I guarantee you that's what they was
wow.
looking at.
Hey, this was
Because
not
when I
done.
first seen it, that's what I assumed.
Oh,
That
That's
okay.
an interesting point. Drop a bomb for that statement right there. I didn't even think about that. That's
I
interesting right
assumed
there.
he was airing out all his all his old mistresses.
Not with them Nat King Cole breasts though.
That's why I thought it was Sticky Nicky.
Them Natalie
thought
Cole
that was-
joints. Get out of here, man.
I thought that was Sticky Nicky on that post.
No.
I did.
These cats, man.
Oh man. Hey, well,
Yeah, man.
Y'all better hit that like button and subscribe
Yeah,
button if
man,
y'all don't
yeah.
Watch
understand
out.
you are at the world's most dangerous podcast, Fresh Out.
Well, you know, hey man, we always got to do basically being like just let y'all know what the music is for the week, man. A lot of people always talking about, oh well, you know, music this, music that, but they don't know what's going on. So we always want to give y'all the top 5 songs of the week, just so y'all know what's going on. Of course, we keep it underground. We do JIDs, we do the real hip hop, we do all that, but we at least want to let y'all know what's going on, so you can't say you don't know what's going on. So hey, here's the top 5, man, for the week. So
kick your dope, get on the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't make no noise, I'll eat your face.
Can't help it, I want you.
that's Bebo P's favorite song.
Doja.
That's all I'm on. Gang.
There you go. That's your outfit, Bebo. That's my joint there.
We're scared.
Too sexy for this girl. Too sexy for your girl. Too sexy
This
for
dude.
this world.
Yeah.
And Jay Kent's favorite artist.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You're
man.
damn right.
Oh man.
What's y'all thoughts, man, on the top 5, man? Is it just trash? Or, yeah, what y'all thinking for the week, man? Just trash. Go ahead. Bebo wiped his whole face down. Golly, go ahead, Bebo.
I mean,
Trash.
You know why I did that though,
Trash.
man. You know, we just came from like OG classic hip hop talk
This is
to
trash.
just having to see that. I'm like, ugh, it's not even.
You see where it's going, though, bro.
The hottest
Yeah.
song on there might have been just the R&B joint. Maybe, but maybe Doja Cat.
Real
I don't
tough.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Doja Cat,
Real
Doja
tough.
Cat, which is, you know, shit. You know,
Right.
yeah.
But
Drop a
it's
bomb for
funny
that one, real
because
talk.
I probably like that song the best.
Which is
And what's
crazy.
funny is she's talking about cheating on her boyfriend.
Dang.
Exactly. And I
Dang.
probably like that the best.
Yeah, it's bad. Top 5 is bad.
Oh man.
That lets you know
let's
that
say-
looking good out
that
here.
list is boo boo.
In other news, man, LB's over here giving people haircuts, bro.
You know it. You know how I
Oh.
get down.
Why the
Wow.
fuck you lying?
So, hey, man, I gotta start with LB, man. First,
Okay.
LB the
Kanye
barber.
just dropped, just basically like went to legal court to change his name to Ye.
Yeah.
And then he comes out with this like you got in trouble haircut, like you got all F's on your report card haircut.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on this, L? But also, man, just take it to a whole other level. Do you think he's about to drop something different since he's rebranding himself?
Honestly, man, he's in that Puff Daddy stage. Remember when Puff Daddy was like, "Oh, I gotta be P Diddy," and then call me Puffy and change his name like 7 times. I do think that like sometimes people get like too much money and too old, and it's just like, well, what else are you gonna do with your time? Because basically you sitting around philosophizing all day, probably getting high, like you know. And you're like, you know what? I should just change my name. Go
Hey,
ahead
but
and
he
do it.
said he's
Like, who
he's the new
cares?
Walt Disney though.
But
He
who
said he's the new Walt
cares?
Disney.
That's for
Bruh,
him. He's like whatever. Like it doesn't even matter. Like literally from this point forward till like probably his grandkids is 90 years old. His catalog is probably gonna make them at least $500,000 for the next like 150 years or whatever, right?
You
So
gotta drop a
like
bomb on that one.
he just does not care. You know what I'm saying? And he's just doing what people have too much money do, and are getting too old. They done
Preaching.
done everything. They ain't got nothing else to do. And
Preaching.
this is what's going on with this crazy man. Yeah, that's it.
What you think, J Camp?
Man, I just think like LP said, man, he's sitting back looking for the ultimate answer in life. He's looking for the ultimate jewel. He's probably hit up every Buddhist temple, he's smoked every bit of Hindu grass he can get his hands on
Yeah.
to search for the ultimate answer in life. You're not gonna get it, Kanye. I can tell you that. Or yay. You ain't gonna get it, bro.
Yay.
And then a haircut is not gonna
Idiot.
get you anywhere in life.
Nah, bro. That's how
But
you
his
know you
bank
got too
account
much
is over
money.
stupid though. Bank account is dumb right now.
Cause any black man that can go out with that haircut and still be good,
Oh
that's how
my
you. That
God,
just
man.
means you have too much money.
You
That's
got
all
too
that
much
means.
bread.
Cause bro,
Exactly.
like if I walk out the house with a haircut like this right now, like I'm getting clowned like left and right, up and down the street.
Shit.
And
Like
you might not even meet the dress code with the code of conduct at your
Shit,
job.
you got the world's most dangerous
End up
podcast.
going
I'm
end up going
gonna
to
still
work and
clown
they
your
see
$1
your
billion
hair like
$5 looking haircut.
like
So that's out of here.
Lionel, buddy.
excuse me.
You're not meeting code, buddy. We're gonna have to send you home today.
Bebo, what was your whole situation on that, man?
Man, that first off, that buzzery, man, that buzz cut ain't cutting it, man. Ain't nothing cutting that head. Man, I don't know what's going on with that thing, man. That haircut represents
Then it'd be
his
$8.
overall mindset and his albums as of
Ain't nothing
late.
but juice and berries.
Yeah.
Shoot,
nothing but
that
Ultra
ain't
Punch.
nothing but the twigs and branches from the juices and berries. Get his ass out of here.
Then it'd be
No,
$8
but
looking at.
you know, El stole my thunder really about the name change thing. In part because you know I was thinking the same thing about Diddy, so I don't think he's really going to move the needle in terms of name change. And I am curious though, and I'm seriously curious if this has something to do with the so-called divorce that he's going through.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I can see
And
that.
I really don't know. But the first thing I thought about was the Dr. Dre situation when Nicole Young tried to come for his name and the catalog, the Chronic catalog, and all that. So I know that wasn't successful.
It's a different
I'm not
name.
saying this is the case. I'm just kind of curious on a legal level what this represents as far as that's concerned with the divorce, so-called divorce situation, alleged divorce.
Yeah.
You got that zirconian kufi on right now.
Yeah, man.
I'm just curious. I'm just asking the question.
The questions
That's a
need to
good
be
question
asked.
though. You
I'm
got
just
me
asking.
thinking now. I got my kufi on. Thinking about that.
Hey, you silly dog. Yeah, you have the kufi on just for asking questions, dog. I could have said, my brother. You could tell that he's going through an MK Ultra situation with the haircut. See, I ain't coming like that. I'm just asking the question, brother. Just asking the question.
I thought you were coming to bean pie with all that, bro.
Yeah, you get that bean
yeah.
pie.
Right.
He's about to go do bean pies for sure.
Well, this thing, if y'all remember, Jay-Z, his best friend, signed him to a contract he can never get out of.
Yikes.
So changing the name to Ye,
he might be
he
able
can
to
technically get out like Prince. You know what I'm
You
saying?
do the Prince?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought about that too. Yeah. The Prince.
So it may be his way of getting out of his contract by changing his name like Prince did. To
Hey, listen,
something
man.
else.
If that's the case, then he's just genius, man. Cause I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at getting out of like some nastiness that somebody effed you over for.
Let me hold that kufi, ID.
I think J Camp needs to start a Kofi clothing company or
I may have to. Man.
Sell them on Amazon.
Yeah. J Camp Koofies.
Right.
Buy one, get one.
Speaking of Koofies, dog, we gotta talk about LB's other favorite artist, Bobby Smurda.
Oh, stop.
Okay, he just got out of jail, right? He just got out of jail.
Right.
And then he basically's been out. He ain't been able to make no hit though. You know what I'm saying? So he's been working on a hit, but then this is the clip that came out of him working on the joint. He's kind of twerking on the joint. Was that a twerk, bro? Like,
I kind of look like the hot dance too.
That was a hot dance.
What was the joint that he had?
The hot
about-
Negro.
Yeah, the hot nigger.
Yeah. Didn't they do that little?
Yeah.
They did that little dance in the video. It kind of looked like that. There's a little bit more shoulders in the
So
video. I
this
thought.
ain't Fruity Go Go or nothing. You know,
Had a little more.
right?
He had more hip than a hot. He had more hip in it.
Could you see KRS-One doing that on stage?
Never,
No, buddy.
never,
I ain't never gonna happen.
never.
Man.
Hey,
Hey, remember when
can Bobby even come back? Like, are y'all checking for Bobby, or is that not our demographic?
I'm not checking for Bobby, bro. I'd be.
I'm not either. I think his moment is done. He stood a slim chance even before going to jail. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
And now that he did and he's coming out, like, this is tough, man. It's very tough because I mean everything that's coming out of
J.
NY
Camp,
and stuff
LB
now.
just murdered this dude. Man.
I just I just don't see it, man. It's tough.
Said he had an iceberg slim's chance.
It was slim though, man. It was real slim. I mean, because he had the one song, so it was like, you know, what was he gonna do next? I mean, like, I think of him
How do you
almost
talk
like
hot Negro?
what's your boy that did the?
Oh man,
I got it. I'm in Atlanta. I'm coming to Thanos. That dude.
Panda. That dude.
Yeah, Panda. I kind of put him in the same page. As
What was that dude's
Panda,
name?
man.
Is that Kodak Black?
Nah, that was
was that?
Kanye's dude.
he's another designer.
I've got balls in Atlanta.
Designer. Okay, yeah.
Designer.
I mean, you know.
I put him
another
and
dude from
Designer in
New
the
York.
same page, man. Which is that
Who
like
ain't never been to Atlanta before.
Okay.
you had a tough track, and then you had a whole bunch of nothing else, man.
Who had a tough track?
And both of these
Designer
guys.
did. I got brawls in Atlanta. That Panda joint.
Yeah. So Designer had the Panda. You know what I'm saying? That joint went hard for a
I
minute.
got brawls in
And
Atlanta.
then, and then Bobby Shmurda had the, you know, the hot Negro joint. You know what I'm saying? But that was it. Did either one of them ever have anything else that just like was like popping at any other point?
I mean, but it's like he's on some Fetty Wap type bull with both eyes.
Fetty Wap had a way iller run though. Don't even disrespect Fetty Wap like that, bro. Fetty Wap had like he had an 18-month run, bro, with like 7 hits.
Wow.
He had like 7 or 8 hits though, bro.
Jay, can he come back, Jay?
Man, I mean, LB kind of said it.
That
Great.
Paul
I mean,
says it all.
if he comes back, man, he would have to come back off an Achilles, off a knee, a shoulder. He basically has to be Brandon Roy in order to come back at this point. Because he was all the way down. Like LB said, he had one good joint. He got like, well, I didn't know. I didn't know what he was gonna do. I thought it was just a TikTok type deal when he came out with the hot nigga. I truly did. Like, I initially didn't know he was like an artist. I thought somebody was just doing a dance, kind of like the Dougie. I thought they was like on that Dougie type stuff. I was like, oh, okay, this is what these kids is doing now.
On the Dougie.
And I murdered him. Come on.
Nah. Now, if y'all remember, this dude was performing and then slid on the table in front of white people. What is going on? Remember this dude was hold on, man, where'd he go? Hold on.
Bro, too much.
Yeah, he was a little off the chain, man. There you go.
I mean, I'm pulling for Bobby though. Shout out to him though, man. I
want him to win.
You at the record label when you jump on the table?
Yeah,
I mean,
man, I don't know.
I want him to win. Now, there's something ODB would have done. ODB would have done that. He probably did do that at the record label too.
He's ODB.
Yeah, ODB. He would have definitely done
that. Hey, man.
Hill, what you gonna tell us about it?
That's what I got.
We just done roasting the guy. That was pretty much just a roast session. You know what I'm saying?
Well deserved too. Instead of the Kofi for him, it was popping that Bucci. So, next topic.
LB said it was a slim chance.
That dude just gave him no life. That dude just took all the life out of that man.
Come on, man. We all knew that, man. Come on.
God bless.
Took something from him, huh? All right, next topic.
When I run this episode back, though, I'm gonna be laughing on that one,
though. This is a question for LB because LB is our resident Rory and Mar Mall expert, man. This dude loves these guys, man.
Nah, man.
L's catching everything tonight. He's catching it all.
Catching all the heat.
He's catching it all.
So LB, should Rory and them just got a new deal with Sirius XM?
Yeah, man.
Should they basically pay homage to Joe?
Wow. See, I didn't realize you was gonna pose that question this way. Homage to Joe. Here's what I would say. If it
wasn't for Joe messing up, they wouldn't have the deal.
Hey, facts, man. But I think here's the thing, man. Joe just has to eat this one, man. Because you know what? Had he might have handled himself differently and still been like, hey, I don't think this is gonna work out between us, they might have both been willing to probably drop him a cool $500,000 a piece or something where he might take $1 million off the deal if it was 10 million. You know what I'm saying? But the way that he did them and leaving, I think that was kind of nasty, man. So I don't think they owe him nothing from the perspective of how he treated them in their exit. Now, would they be any version of this had they never been on the Joe Budden podcast? Not a chance whatsoever. Did they come out and get a soft landing and capitalize on everything that was going on and make it looks like a nice positive move? Absolutely 100%. I am not mad at them. The moment that they bounced, they was probably fielding deals, and soon as they had one that made easy money sense, why wouldn't you do it? Especially at the height of the podcast, we still kind of in the panty right now in the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? So, it's gonna be lots of ears, lots of things. Are they gonna get this amount of money from anywhere else for just doing what they do?
Nope. No. They're boring.
Ooh, yeah. No, I've tried to listen a few times, but it wasn't working for me.
Hilton, Bebo to the tizzy. Let's hear non-biased.
Yeah, we need some non-biased input right here.
Because these are LB's guys. You know
yeah, they my guys. I used to listen all the time, every day.
Bebo P, are you listening to Rory and Mal on Sirius XM.
I haven't heard, but they're like maybe half of their very first episode. And my thing is regarding their move, shout out to them. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And I think just the way that they did it. I mean, even the picture that you guys see here right now, their look is clean. Everything is just, spot on visually from an outside looking in situation. Now, listening to them, they're probably, as bland as vanilla or, as, flat or whatever is vanilla, however you want to call it. But,
They are,
but they learn through the ups with Joe Budden, and they learn from the downtrodden aspects of it. They, combine their heads, and they have what you have now. Now, I know L said he feels like they're, I believe it was you, L, when you said that one of the things you said was that they're, bland, boring, whatever. But hey, whatever they're doing caused them to rake a cool 10 mil. So
there you go.
They're doing something right. So
something right.
I ain't mad at them.
Congrats,
I just haven't, had put it to mind to go back to their content to watch. So it's not like I thought, one way or another about them. I did like their presence when they were with Joe. And I wish personally things would have worked out, but that's just in terms of me being used to who was where.
Same question you, Hilton. You're going around the question. You're not answering.
Oh, my bad. No, I'm not trying to. What's the question?
Should they pay homage to Joe Buttons for basically getting this deal vicariously through Joe?
Yeah, I think so. I think, as I stated before, they learn from the good and the not so good. So, I mean, either way it goes, they probably wouldn't have gotten the 10 mil had it not been from whatever experiences that Joe Budden had with them and vice versa. So, I mean, I would definitely give homage. I mean, if I was them, they don't have to do whatever
financial homage, or just like, oh yeah, like I couldn't have been here without you, Joe.
I mean,
shout out because if it wasn't for this, for him putting us on, first of all, like Joe put them on the podcast.
Well, but he also dumped on him too when it was all said and done, and he didn't pay him what I guess that's what they were saying, right? That they didn't get paid. No, they weren't shown the financials like how they should have been.
They just didn't know if what they was getting paid was right or wrong because there was nothing there for them to even validate.
So I mean, and I know, okay, so those details are still whatever they are. Then, nonetheless, if you didn't have nothing to hide, hey, I'm Joe. I'm thinking, okay, my bad. Let's work this out. Let's come to the table. Here's the financials from the last 2 years or whatever.
Regardless, but Joe's mistake made them $5 million for each. Should they pay homage to at least him?
They were a shout out. Anything more than a shout out?
I mean, like I say, yes, they owe homage to Joe. You know what I'm saying? They owe giving homage to Joe. Now they don't owe financial homage in my view.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think that goes back to L's question about that. No, they don't owe financial homage. Okay. So yeah, I would give him homage if I was Royal Mal.
Yeah,
but that's just me. You know what I'm saying?
J Camp, let me ask you a different question. Like if they're basically evaluated at 10 mil, what would have Joe Budden's podcast would have been evaluated for if they would have stuck together and got big numbers?
Man, that's a great question because I don't necessarily think that it would have been that much more, maybe around the same. I mean, I think
remember he wanted Rogan money,
right? And he was never gonna get Rogan money. I mean,
he didn't say Rogan money though. Let's clear that up.
He wasn't close to it.
He said, listen, Rogan said it here. I'm nowhere close to Rogan, but if Rogan got this, I want mine to be as a proportion of what it is that he does. You know what I'm saying? So if
Rogan got 100, that means you saying you at least want 50.
Yeah, probably some version of that.
I mean, I can see Joe getting them all together getting a little bit more than that, and I don't know market going rate for that, so I don't want to speak too much off cuff, but thinking about the three of them as a collective, I
Yeah.
just can't see them hitting the jackpot. And to be honest, I would give Joe a shout out, but I wouldn't give this dude credit.
Yeah.
I would
No
say,
credit, but just a shout out.
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
just like, man,
Shout out.
appreciate your platform, but you ain't the reason why I got this
Yeah.
bread, bruh. So I can't give you credit for
There
Yeah.
that.
you go.
Yeah.
And that makes them the bigger platform just by doing that. You know
100.
what I'm saying?
I mean, it's almost like when P. Diddy got fired by Andre Harrell,
Yeah.
and then he ended up starting Bad Boy, and he hired him as a worker. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
At one point. Yeah.
Yeah, you still showing him some love. You know, he made a mistake. You still, hey man, I pay. I'm not saying that. You know, to me, it shows. Even though they're corny,
He
it
made
shows
him a little bit more than a worker though. He was basically like president.
yeah, I mean, what I'm
CEO.
saying is you wasn't bitter at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Nah,
if
he
you
wasn't
fire
bitter.
me,
Yeah.
we gonna have a problem. I'm probably, you know, I'm a little
You made
Uzi
him
Vert up
sound
in that
like he
joint.
was a junior associate A&R or something.
Yeah.
You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
yeah,
But if I'm not
you over the
mistaken,
mailroom, my G.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right. But
You know,
if I'm not mistaken though, that situation was a little bit different, wasn't it? As far as like the firing and the whole
yeah.
that whole
It was.
But this is the
It
thing,
was.
man.
yeah.
Like, I feel bad for Joe, man. I feel
Stop.
really bad.
Nobody
man.
should feel
Like,
bad for Joe.
Oh man.
that dude
No.
this dude had to do a show with Ish and Ice, bro.
That is tough.
It's corny, man. The most farts ever in Fresh Out history. Ish and Ice.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm about to do an Uzi Vert up in this joint.
Watch out. But yeah, no, that is tough.
Oh man.
It's tough to maintain a show with those two pieces of talent, man. Ouch.
Whatever they're doing, they don't need to let up off the gas, man. So,
Well, that's what's funny. But I'm with Jamar on this. Like, what's gonna happen is Joe Budden is probably gonna toil away for the next 3 or 4 years, and then 5 years from now, he's gonna sell out for like 11 million, something ridiculously not even close to this whole pie in the sky that he thought it was gonna be. It's gonna be really close to what like Rory and Maul got right now, right? It might be a little bit more. Like I said, 11 to 12 million. And that'll be after toiling away for so many years or something like that. That's probably what's going to happen.
Hey, Joe Budden, we're not going to give you Joe Rogan money, but we got the next best thing, Joe the plumber. Money. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, it's funny you mentioned L kind of had me hurt a little bit on that word toil. You know, man.
Hey, but that's the thing, man. Like sometimes when you doing stuff, you really just passing the time, man. You toiling away. You ain't doing nothing. You're not doing anything that's really contributing or putting back. And I don't know. I don't know.
Let me ask you this though, bro. L, let me ask you this because I don't think I've heard this tone from you regarding Joe Budden. So when did the tide turn for you, sir?
Oh no, it definitely turned at the exit of Maul and Roy for sure.
Oh, okay. So they made the show for you.
Well, because I've always said that you need Joe, but you need him in doses. And Maul and Roy were enough of a like sounding board where he could get off his weirdness, but then they could bring a few things back home a little bit closer to the circle of what they need to be. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think they'll ever be able to work together again in some capacity? Maybe as
100%
feature or something like that.
If the money is right, like right now, for some reason Joe Budden Network scores a $50 million deal with Spotify, and they're like, "Hey, man, we'll buy you guys out for $20 million." They'd be like, "Oh yeah, we're friends again." You know what I'm saying? Like it would happen in a heartbeat. Like, and all it would be like a couple of $1 million, basically.
Gotcha.
Yep. And then they'd have a whole show about how they made things right after things wasn't going the whole way they were supposed to. They'd have a whole show. They have a whole show dedicated to it.
Gotcha. And if everything were to go south for Joe, or not in the fashion that it's supposed to go, you're saying he'd go back to Slaughterhouse. I got you. Gotcha, brother.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever
shout out to Slaughterhouse too, man.
Shout out to Slaughterhouse.
Y'all need to drop that last album, man. That never came out. Shout
Hey man,
out.
we in the last minute, man. Before we end the show off, man.
Okay.
Just want to tell the fans thanks for checking in, tuning in. This is
Absolutely.
the first show on the Wednesday, man. So we're gonna be
Yep.
building, man. We're gonna be putting out a lot more content. Me and Jay Kim are gonna be hitting y'all with a lot of sports with the NBA season starting. We
Yes,
got a coach
sir.
report, man. We got a lot of stuff coming on the channel. So just dive in, man. Before we leave, any shout outs, man, before we leave, man.
J Camp, speak your piece, man. I think it's your turn, brother.
Yes, sir. Shout out, man, to the peoples. Shout out to everybody that messed with us, man. Shout out
Yes.
to Nightmare, man, for jumping
Nightmare.
on last week. You know what I'm saying? Well, not
Yeah.
last week. Week
All
before
right, we gotta
last,
get him
I
back
should
too.
We
Yeah,
definitely
sure.
gotta get him back, man.
Oh yeah.
And we got to get Nightmare on that Sports FX too, man. We've been
100%. 100%.
chatting on the sports tip too, man. But again, make sure y'all mask up. It's still a problem out there. You know,
Yeah.
protect your loved ones, keep them safe. You know, not let you fellas end it off.
Hey, like J Camp just ended off on, everybody just make sure you're doing whatever it is that you feel like y'all need to do to be safe. Appreciate the loved ones while you still got them. I'm not saying that for any
Drop
particular
bomb.
reason, but I shouldn't have to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just, reach out to somebody you haven't talked to in a long time. Reach out to somebody you just talked to 5 minutes ago, or not 5 minutes ago, but yesterday or something like that. And shout out to Real Hip Hop, because that Verzuz really just took, just took me back in a zone that I think a lot of us miss. Just the essence of it. When hip hop was hip hop. So shout out to KRS-One, shout out to Big Daddy Kane, shout out to just hip hop in general, Swizz and Tim, shout out to y'all for, doing what y'all do with Verzuz. And shout out to you brothers, man, here at Fresh Shout. And Nightmare.
Yeah.
Yes, we definitely got to get my brother Nightmare back on the show, as well as Anton and Taylor Day. We got to get them on. We got to get them on to do a show.
We do. We got to get them on.
Shout out to Fresh Out. Y'all brothers, man, much love. I'll pass it on to L, man.
LB, go ahead, take us home, L.
Hey man, nothing over here, man. Just peace and love, man. Peace and love. Keep it real simple. Cause honestly, a lot of things in life are just, about being consistent, and when you consistently move and trying to be peaceful and love, you can really tackle like so much of life if you can kind of go about it that way. So that's all it is, man, for sure.
No
hey
doubt.
Man, Fresh Out.
Yeah,
check us out on Wednesdays, man. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, man. Any last words, Bebo P?
I was gonna say, end this off without doing a Bobby Smurder Bucci dance. This cat up here,
Bobby Smurder twerking.
I like that.
Talk Bebo P.